Hello there, Seraphim17 once again. This is my Gears of War 4 Inconceivable difficulty video walkthrough. This is Act 5-2, it's called Killing Time. It always reminds me of the red cord, and I'm going to be planting some grenades at the beginning of this wave because there's tons of them, so feel free to do so. You can only plant 2 though, the third one will detonate the first one. This ain't soldier class in Horde. And then I'm going to proceed to do the first wave, I think, without building anything. Or if I do build something, it might be a turret. But you can immediately get on that turret and preemptively kill the Scion Mulcher, and then you can proceed to kill the drones with the turret, because it's very strong, and it also gives you some shielding. But the first wave is really not too bad. It ends with a couple of Pouncers, but the Pouncers cannot get into the room that I'm going to sit in, and you can just kind of either grenade tag them or shoot them, it's up to you. The second wave is the difficult one. The second wave is the one of nightmares, but on Inconceivable it's really not so bad. The third wave is a joke because it gives you a checkpoint after about 4 fucking drones, when the second wave is the one that needed it. And then you take on carriers who are so slow I don't think anyone's ever died to them. It really is a testament to terrible design when it comes to placing checkpoints on this. It's just such a misunderstanding of what part is difficult. And you'll notice these guys are naked, so these are the not quite matured drones, and that means that they're aggressive, but they also have lower HP. So these guys will die faster than almost any other enemy in the game. And there's a lot of them, and they're really bumming my team. But if you sit over here, they don't seem to want to come this way, and your team is such a good distraction that you can just kind of wreck them. But if you do take damage, go into cover immediately, and then proceed to be very careful when people come near these windows, because if he jumps in and kicks you, you're dead. There's no two words about that. And again, guys, if you want to buy some fortifications, feel free to do so. I just knew that there was nothing on this wave that I needed them for, and I wanted to save the turret from getting damaged. Because where I'm going to put them is a really safe place, and it turns it into a complete blitzkrieg of death. It's going to be really, really good, so do not worry. This might be a little tricky, and feel free to build something if you can't do it, but you don't need to. As long as you're intelligent and you're safe, you'll be fine. Like, it's interesting, you know when you get shot in the multiplayer at an angle like that, it does such reduced damage on you, it's almost a joke. But I wonder how much it does in the campaign against the enemies, because you can kill people doing that, shooting an elbow, shooting a gun barrel and stuff. That's the end of it, right? That's when the Pouncers turn up. So if you're quick here, you can get on the turret and shoot the Pouncers and do a lot of damage, but you need to be careful because if they quill you, they'll probably kill you. And I died once on all 3 waves because I tested a drop shotter, thinking I could kill him on the turret before he could get me. That was a gamble that I lost because he was way, way, way harder to kill than I anticipated on the turret. Because here's me thinking the turret's going to shit on him, right? I shot him a lot, and he did not miss. I'll give him that much. But I prefer the girl to get on it personally. If your team gets on the turret, they're at least doing something. Because the only risk in this moment is that, what just happened then. Once the Pouncers turn up and they start getting excited, I always pop my grenades on, but they never went into a position where I could captivate on it. Or capitalise on it, I should say. You can hit them now, but when you get close like this, they can do the golden axe tail whip and it'll kill you. So I never ever do that. And did you see how it jumped on a window that wasn't even connected to this window and it pushed Dell off? That's dumb, is what that is. It's really silly. It doesn't make any sense. It's an L-connected structure. Something hits that wall, it doesn't hurt this wall. It's really strange. It's just such a stupid thing. But you understand why they do it. The whole point of this enemy is to knock you out of cover. But you see then, it didn't push me out. The next time it lands on that, it pushes me out. It's really strange. I should be shooting it with a shotgun right now. That would be the best damage opportunity on it. But for some reason it's walking around. It's got the BGs on. It's staying alive. I don't really understand. It almost looked like the other Pouncer hit it with the quill then. That was cool. But they don't really understand what to do on this part because the geometry isn't good for them to land on, so they just jump around and don't get much done. I should be shotgunning it here. I don't know why I'm not. I'm really confused. It's probably because I'm so used to not having an Asher that I don't realise I've got one. Even though it's on my bloody back. But you'd be surprised what you miss when you're not looking. There it was, did you see that? How silly is that? I don't get that. That's so dumb. That's the piece of cover that we're going to be sitting behind just to my side there. Wonderful piece of cover. And you might be wondering, well, what stops the enemies from getting to you? It would be the massive wall of level 3 turrets that I'm going to build. And essentially shitface anything that decides to come near the fabricator, which is pretty much everything that gets past the team. So level 3 turrets mean business. These things are very powerful. There's not much on this planet that can survive this kind of a firing squad, and you're going to see exactly how powerful they're going to be. Additionally, guys, I apologise for saying a lot, but when you watch other people's videos and they say a lot, it rubs off on you, and I hate it. It's one of the most annoying things that I wish I didn't do, and I wish I didn't pick up, but I somehow have acquired it, and it sounds awful. And I have a whole host of other verbal garbage that comes out of my mouth that I'm not proud of and I don't like and I wish I could fix. But this is one of them I'm actively trying not to do, but it just kind of slips out. So I'm very sorry, guys. I've become one of those girls that says like 30 times every sentence. It finally happened. But the piece of cover I'm going to be using can be done on either side. It's not the end of the world if you're on the wrong side. It's the end of the world if that Juby jumps in and you're on that cover. But I don't know why I'm doing this. I should just be over in my little spot, but instead I'm not. See what I mean? Look at that. Whew. Do not test the firing squad, monster men. You will lose. But at this moment in time, I'm being cavalier. I'm pretty confident. I'm looking forward to the challenge that's awaiting us. That is a buzz killer, firing shit everywhere. Do not underestimate where you can get those discs as well. This dude's a beast. That was a bad grenade. He bounced off the map. Top tier gameplay right there. Couple of shells in his face. The Gnasher's not that bad at this range. It's not great, but I think the diminished returns of the distance is not as bad as you think. There we go. Shredder. So that's 2 Scions on the right now. And she immediately starts tagging them with the turret, which is awesome. But I'm quite confident in this wave up until the Snatchers turn up, and that's when we're going to be using the bitch strategy 2.0, which is an advancement of 1.0, as obviously the number denounces. But it's just so goddamn good and effective. But backing up, surveying the battlefield. My throat is dry and sore because I've been commentating all day, but we're going to get it done. This video should hopefully help the 7 people who in the next 10 years are going to play this difficulty. That is a drone who is buff. Oh my goodness, that was lucky. Did you see that? And just then, didn't it look like my turrets hurt me? But I don't think they did. Because if you notice, there's like a symbol on the damage sign that tells you where the damage came from. And it didn't come from the direction of the turrets. It came from the direction where they were firing. But right here, you have nothing to fear when you're here. You just don't. It's one of those things where there's nothing that can get past these turrets, and for some reason the enemies don't like going in those rooms to the sides. I don't know what it is about them, but they choose not to. Up there are hunters that might be able to tag you with a torque bow, but I've never been hit back here, and I'm going to get rid of their protection so that you can just take them out and the team might even kill them. But all we want now is for the Snatchers to spawn, so that when they push over here and try and grab the team, there is a full firing squad doing what's happening to that Scion. Did you see that? Scion did his shoulder barge, and then he got immediately lit up, and then somebody gets hunted, which is pretty funny. I wonder why they didn't elaborate on the torque tech. It'd have been nice to have something else that was like a torque bow. So I feel like it's a good idea. The idea of having something that has a timer to fire it, and it being an explosive. Because the M-bar is quite similar, but the M-bar is just frustrating because it's not enough time. So you have to kill... Do you have to kill the hunters for the Snatchers to spawn? And another cool thing that you can do here is when the Snatchers do spawn, you can jump on the turret and hurt them a lot. You can also chuck a bunch of grenades too. The problem is, if they do the death rattle and the quill starts coming your way, you need to get off immediately or you'll die. I don't know why I'm not on the turret right now. This is a wasted opportunity for damage. And know that there's 2. There's one on the left, one on the right. There's the quill. Boom. And I'm going to back up. There it is again. put you back to cover. See how fast they are too? Never underestimate how fast the Snatchers are. And look at this. This thing never stood a chance, dude. It's just going to get repeatedly railed. And there's nothing it can really do. Like, what can stand up to that? I know it's walking about all cocky-like, and that is one of my teammates that's just been taken, but I'm going to get on the turret and I'm going to save them. And then when it comes up here, we're just going to rail it again with the turrets. But I just love how casually it backskates when it's nicked somebody. Dude's a dick. There you go. What were you doing, Dad? Or Del, or whoever that is. I think it's my dad. Go on, Marcus, get it done. And just be careful here. You do not want to get quilled because you're hurting it too much. It's going back for Marcus though, isn't it, with the vomit? Yeah, this is about the point where when it does its melee attack, it can hit you up here, and that's what I was afraid of. That. Look at it. It doesn't mess around, the quill. And then she gets on the turret and starts lighting it up, which is awesome. Starts snubbing it. Quilling again. Boom. Such a fair move. If you die to that, it's your fault. And it's dead. How easy was that? Piece of piss, right? And then this phase, everybody's favourite. Which, once again, you might be wondering, Chris, you're saying this is quite easy. How come you died there? How come there was a crossfade? I attempted a Scion with a drop shot. I thought I could kill him with a turret, and I couldn't. So, it wasn't even a good reason to die. It was a pretty shitty reason, actually. But once again, all I'm going to do is build 2 turrets. I'm going to drop them on equal sides to hurt the carriers as much as I can. And if they do get close, which they probably won't, the turrets at this back line will get them. And I'm going to sit on the mounted turret and shoot them as much as I can. And that's pretty much going to be jobs are good and missions done. And there's nothing really more to say. This is a section that on Insane drove me mad because it was really difficult. But I've come back to it, you know, nearly 2 years later, and on this harder difficulty, it was very manageable. And I don't know if I've got better as a player. I don't know if this difficulty is easier. I don't know what it is. But, you know, maybe it's wisdom. Who knows? But if these videos can give you some confidence and give you the visual representation that you need to know that you can do it, then I hope I can be that for you. Ooh, disco turret. So this is when I realised that the disco turret was really good at stunning the Scion, because I'm going to put it facing his spawn, and it's just going to keep hitting him in the face. It's like somebody throwing a tap shoe. It's wonderful. My stomach is going nuts. I am so hungry. But that's what happens when you spend the last 6 hours commentating. And I did eat. It's just, you know, my metabolism's really fast, so I need to eat again. But I'm just going to pop it there, staring directly at him. And then we can rush back and get this started. But it's an insult, this checkpoint coming up. It's just a complete lack of awareness of difficulty. It's a bunch of scrubby enemies, and then a checkpoint for no good reason. And it really frustrates me because that previous section needed a checkpoint for some people. It doesn't on this difficulty because you can do it so quickly, but look how good this turret is, by the way. You see him? See him getting hit by the disco turret? Watch him. There. And then he's dead. And then there's a checkpoint! Can you believe that? That is obscene, dude. There's no planet where you need a checkpoint after 5 dudes. You don't get one after like 10 dudes and a double Snatcher encounter. But you get one after 5 dudes. Can somebody explain why you would think a carrier is in any way more dangerous than a Snatcher? Carriers are slow, can easily be killed with turrets, have no real threat once you understand how they work, and look how fast they die. It's crazy. Now this gets a bit scary, but I'm going to shoot them with the turret, right? So I'm not in any trouble. It's just bizarre. That's him being all hubbled over when his belly opens. It's just strange to me. I can't aim to the left either, so that got quite dangerous just then. It wouldn't let me look. It's just, I don't know. To me, it seems silly. It seems really silly. But I suppose maybe I've played the game too much. Who knows? You know, once you start playing a game long enough, the flaws become more glaring to you. And even the smallest of flaws become an issue, right? because you see past the veneer, you see the core of it. That was close. He's really good with that too. I've never seen a carrier fire twice in succession that quickly. I've never seen that before. And he's dead, and we've done it. Who would have thought, right? Who would have thought we could have done it so decisively? And then I'm going to teabag for victory. But thank you very much for watching, and as always, you take care now.